Thank you for joining us. This is Exceptional Women Show, and my guest today is Captain Mwamba Women RFC, and also she's part of the Kenyan Women's Rugby 15s, Rosehilda. Rosehilda Kamanga.
Yes.
Have I said your name right?
Yes,
I
Rosehilda.
normally have sometimes problems with pronouncing certain names. So
Right.
Rosehilda.
Yes, Rosehilda.
Rosehilda. Or just Rose.
Or Rose is fine.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll take that. So how are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you for coming to the show today.
It's great to be here.
Yeah. So what inspired your love for rugby?
Well, it started off, my older brother used to play rugby.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time we'd go watch him at Impala Floodlights at the time. He was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still maybe in lower primary. And just watching him, and because me and him are very close,
Mm-hmm.
would frequently play it maybe at home or just for fun, or just imitate what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went into high school, and one of the pioneer women in rugby decided to spread the game in high school, she came to our high school. It was my girls,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my first step.
Your first experience?
Yes, in
Okay.
playing competitively for rugby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what team do you play for right now?
I currently play for Mwamba.
Uh-huh.
That's Mwamba RFC.
Mm-hmm.
It's home to great legends, men, Collins Injera,
Mhm.
Humphrey Kayange, their
Mhm.
brother Micah Gevi, as well as women like Celestine, myself, and others. It was actually the pioneer women's rugby team.
Okay.
It is the club that started it.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have about 6 more teams. So we've grown, taken only one step
Mm-hmm.
since back then. But currently I play for Mwamba Rugby.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you have like a memorable match that you can say, you know what, that one is a match to remember?
Definitely, you
Uh-huh.
always have to have one. Actually, it was my first time playing for the national team.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 2013 when I was first called up to the women's 15 side.
Okay.
And we were playing Uganda
Mm-hmm.
at Kasarani. It was my first, and I was playing the role of a hooker.
Mm-hmm.
A hooker has a variety of roles in the field.
Please enlighten us.
A hooker is the center person in the scrum.
Mm-hmm.
So as people push, your work is to try and hook the ball
Mhm.
when it's put in between,
Mm-hmm.
so that it can come to your side.
Okay.
You also throw the line out.
Okay.
So when the ball goes outside the
Mhm.
pitch,
Mhm.
you're the one who has to throw and make sure it lands on the hands of your teammates.
Okay.
So being that role, it was a very huge role for me.
Mhm.
It was my first call up. And being rugby, even the women who play there are very tough.
Yeah.
So they don't take it easy on you if you make mistakes. And
Okay.
yeah, so once I did that, I
Mhm.
think that was my first line out, because I had a problem with line outs.
Mm-hmm.
It went perfectly, and I'll never forget that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us just understand conversion and touchdown.
Yeah, try.
The
Touchdown
try
is American
the-
football.
Oh no, yeah. See, so the try is how many points?
5 points.
And the conversion 2 points.
It's 2 points,
Okay.
and a penalty is 3 points.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So I know a little.
Yeah, I can see.
I'm very good at the bleachers. That's why we go sit and
It's good. It's
cheering.
okay. We appreciate you as well.
All right.
Yeah.
So what would you say has been the greatest virtue rugby has taught you?
I think discipline, commitment, and mind over body.
Mind over body.
Yeah,
All right.
that is, whatever you put your mind to it, you will do it.
Okay.
Because training is hard. It's hard, and the moment you tell your mind you can't, you
Mhm.
won't.
Mhm.
So you just need to. Your hands.
So
are
it's more
paining.
psychological.
Yeah, your
Mm.
hands are paining, your legs are paining, you're tired of running, but you just keep telling yourself you have to do it.
Mhm.
You have to do it. And of course, there's that commitment, because we are not paid to play rugby. We do it because it's we love it. And being committed to something like that is not easy.
Mhm.
I've had to sacrifice sometimes even my job.
Mhm.
I've even lost my job.
Wow.
Not the one I'm
For the love
Before?
of rugby.
Yes, because I had to go for training,
Mhm.
and my boss does not understand
Of course.
why I need to go for training as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And of course, discipline as well. You have to listen to the coach.
Mhm.
You have to follow the instructions, as hard as it would be, as maybe you don't agree with it.
Mhm.
You just have to be disciplined
Okay.
about it. Yes.
So you might. I think in every sport, there's the issue of discipline. For you to be successful as a sports person, you have to have that discipline.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wow. So you lost a job, and you are a career woman now.
Yes,
Mhm.
I am a career woman.
Mm.
Um, but I still play
Yeah.
for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to grow this game because it has opportunities for children
Mm-hmm.
or girls out there can come and play this game professionally.
Mm-hmm.
We have teams like in South Africa where women are playing from the age of 9.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, so by the time they're reaching 19,
Mhm.
they'll taken it up as a professional sport.
Mhm.
They can get called up to clubs in New Zealand,
Mhm.
England, UK, wherever.
Okay.
And we need to do that for women as well in our country.
Mhm.
Because sports, sometimes someone can be not too good in their curriculum.
Yeah, but they're gifted
yeah,
differently.
they're gifted in
in
this
sports.
rugby.
Mm.
And it's very rare where you have someone who's so gifted in
Mhm.
something like rugby. And
Yeah.
that's something that we need to build.
Okay.
So right now, yes, I am a career woman.
Mhm.
I still play. We played in the league that ended around in May.
Mhm.
I played in that league. It's a 10-a-side women's league.
Mhm.
And now we're going into sevens. I don't play sevens, but I want to be I'll be part of the leading team
Mhm.
where I'll just help to manage the team that is going to play for sevens.
Okay.
So I still do it, maybe pick up a management role,
Mhm.
but I still want to grow this women's rugby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, the different teams like the 10-a-sides, the sevens, the 15s. When does the season start and how does it work?
The problem with, like I was saying, for women right now, is the union has not given us the capacity that we should be having. As
Compared to
women,
the male
as compared
team.
to the men's team.
Mm.
Because we have a 10-a-side league for women that runs maybe from February to end of April or beginning of May. Yet 10-a-side is not a structured game for rugby. It is played for fun, but competitively it is 15s
And
or
sevens.
sevens.
Yeah.
But the union is not giving us the capacity to build our teams to these competitive sides. And you find that is why we're doing the 10-a-side. But the good thing is that the 10-a-side has really helped us to grow. So we have that from around February to April. And then the women's sevens has to be played concurrently with the men. So we're dependent on the men. And the problem is the sevens league goes to Mombasa, it goes to Kisumu. And you find women will not play in Mombasa and they will not play in Dala Sevens. Will not play in Dala, will not play in Driftwood, which is in Mombasa. We will only play the Nairobi games, or the farthest we will go is Nakuru.
That is so unfair.
Yes. It is unfair.
I know. That
Yeah.
is really unfair.
Yeah.
So every time the Kenyan fans, especially the international games I watch, just this kayumbet. Is it the
Yes,
dance?
Yumbet, Kayumbet.
Oh, it's kayumbet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does it? Who even came up with this name?
I think Kayumbet is, I think maybe guys from Homeboys Rugby. I'm not very
Okay.
sure, but it's a slang word for like dance or party. And
Oh, kayumbet.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like, are you unenda Kayumbet? Are you going to party? Are you going to dance? Are you going out?
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it's all about.
Okay.
So yeah, different teams actually have a different yumbet. You'll find like maybe Mwamba nowadays we do bazukizo. And you will go to Homeboys and find they have their instruments, their bottles where
So
they do
bazukizo, like in Mwamba.
Yeah.
How does that even go? What consists of a good bazukizo dance or something?
Bazukizo is the song by Collins.
Oh.
Kolo.
Injera.
No, Kolo the Mjane, Kolo
Okay.
the musician.
Oh,
Who turned
kolo.
gospel.
Oh.
And yeah. So it's a dance that has specific moves.
Okay.
So that is actually what right now I have seen Mwamba doing.
Okay.
But you go to Homeboys, they have theirs. I think Homeboys is just
The
they're
home of the dance.
the home
moves.
of dance.
That's
Those
where
guys
they generate.
dance. When they win, they can dance even 1 hour.
Really?
They'll just dance for 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there have been sometimes events when, say, the Masaku Sevens, and a lot of things happen there, and a lot of things that might not be very nice and may not be what really rugby stands for. Do you think such events only act to negate the gains that are being made when it comes to the rugby sector or sports in this country? Things like a lot of promiscuity happens there, and a lot of rape and things like that, I think, coming from the fun of drinking and over-drinking and things like that. Do you think such things act to maybe diminish the shine that has become the rugby sports in Kenya?
Definitely. That is something that many people do not see, because when the funds come, they like you said, they're coming to Yumbit. They don't know the kind of effort that we have put in to get where it is that we want to go, or where it is that we're going. So when people come and they go out of control and get into all those kind of bad things, yes, it's publicity for us, but it's bad publicity. And we cannot work with bad publicity, especially when it comes to women's rugby, because we're depending on these children who are in high school to help us grow the game when they leave. And which parent will allow you?
Oh no,
it's
exactly.
No way. Exactly. So you find that kind of publicity is really not helping us in terms of women, because for women we really want, like now actually we've gone into high schools, and they're actually playing tournaments in you know, like basketball and whatever. And when they progress and come to the club level, those are the kind of tournaments that they will have to be going for. And as a parent, when you hear Masaku,
you cringe.
You'll not be very comfortable. Yes, you may trust your child, but you don't know what's going to happen there. So that kind of
you might feel it's not even safe for her to be there.
It's not safe, especially for a lady, of course.
So of course you've said there are a few instances where you feel it's the women's rugby is being handled a bit differently from the men, which might be a bit unfair. So what are other ways you think if they would treat the women's rugby team, maybe gives it the seriousness that it requires, the way we see the male team? What are some of these things that maybe if the union can do to make sure that even the women's side is lifted?
Okay. Maybe I can say, besides the union, let me just start at the club level, because that is where currently I'm trying to focus on. Before we even get to the union, because the union will only pick a national team, and a national team will only consist of a few of the players. But we need to have a pool of players at the club level that will be able to channel these players into the national team, picking the best from the clubs. So at the club level, we really need to structure our clubs, because yes, we may be having women's sides in these clubs, but they're not being taken as seriously as they should be. If we're able to structure a good plan for clubs, tournaments, and all of that for women, then we can be able to say they're doing the right thing. We have women who come, they really sacrifice a lot. Like I said, we're not paid for this. And at least if we came and found a club that is taking us seriously, or is trying to find opportunities for us, or is even listening to our issues, then we will be able to progress a step at a time. We now have 6 clubs. Mwamba, we have Homeboys, we have Impala, we have Shamas, Nakuru, and we have the universities as well as northern suburbs. And with those clubs, we have progressed, because our first 10 aside, we had only, I think, 4 or 5. And we are growing, and we are continuing to grow. We're looking at getting clubs in even as far as Mombasa, or even Kakamega and the sides. But you see that we cannot depend on the union to do that for us. We have clubs, we have Cabras that is there. They should come up with a women's team, a good, strong women's team. So that is what we're looking. We really need to build the clubs so that we can grow even when it comes to going into the national team.
Okay. So I've heard you say something severally, that you're not being paid. So you're just doing it for the love of rugby. But we know that like say the 7th team or the 15th team, the male side, they're being paid because the sponsors. Has the women's side, why is it then there's no sponsor willing to take up that responsibility? Why do you think so?
Well, I cannot speak maybe in terms of the national side, but maybe again, like I said, maybe we're not being given the capacity. Again, we're not public enough for as well as maybe sponsors to catch us, you know.
Do they feel like there is no good return should they invest there, or why?
No, I think maybe the good return, you see, at the end of the day, if you do sponsor us, you'll sponsor us even in terms of publicity. So we can be able to do for you even adverts or whatever it is that you're looking for. We can do that for you as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So they need to up their game.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to look at, what's really going on when it comes to, because there have been a lot of conversations that, rugby, especially the elections sometimes, they're becoming a bit political. So I'm just going to, that's from an outsider, the things we how we look at it. But of course, you're an insider, and so you're going to give us an insight on that. So don't go too far. The Exceptional Women's Show will be back in a bit. Welcome back. I'm back with Rosehilda Kamanga, Captain Mwamba Women RFC. So, Rosehilda, it is majorly considered that rugby is a guy's game due to its aggressiveness. Sometimes when you're playing, do you ever worry about a possibility of getting an injury that might be, life-altering?
Well, I think it's just human nature as well. Because even when you're at home, you can as well just trip and fall and break your backbone or whatever it is. So it's a risk that we are willing to take. And we don't think about maybe, or personally, I don't think about getting an injury.
Have you ever gotten an injury?
Not a fatal one or a life-threatening one, or maybe just an ankle sprain, and you just recover from it after a few gym sessions.
Really?
Yes.
A few gyms. Because I had a friend of mine who actually plays for Mwamba, but the male side, yeah? So there's a time he went through surgery. I think I don't know what had happened to his shoulder from playing. So I was do you really have to? He was like, you know what, you don't even understand. This is not even a conversation I'm willing to have with you. Yeah, so it's for the love of the game.
It's love, passion for the game.
Yes. And do you know somebody who maybe have gone through that and maybe they had a fatal injury?
One of our players who was actually the captain, we lost her some time back.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, as well as one of our players, Wayodi as well, was I think last year. So yeah, there's some people who have actually succumbed to injuries that have gotten from the game.
Oh wow! So you don't worry about that, or at that time it's just the adrenaline. You just want to play. You
also play for the people that have lost their lives for the passion of this game. And if we give it up, then what are they dying for?
Okay, so the women's rugby team qualified for the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. What do you think that must have done in regards to building the brand of the Kenya women's rugby?
I think that was a perfect opportunity for those that were able to go to Rio. I think it's everyone's dream to go for Olympics, and at least it was able to expose some of our players to some of those international.
And that was the first time actually the Olympics were having rugby.
Yes, it was the first time.
Sport, yeah.
Yes, it was the first time. So you can imagine the kind of, and it has really also built the maybe I can say the psyche of players. Because at least now we see there's somewhere that you can go, that you know, at least now we know there's Olympics. So after another 4 years, we struggle and see if you're going to get it to go to the Olympics as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are there specific requirements, assuming, do you think I even have the...
Yeah, you can. Anyone can play. You can do whatever you want to. Like I said, it's mind over body.
So it's mind over body.
Yeah.
So the body, as long as the mind is right, the body will align.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. So, but are there specific requirements, assuming if I wanted to play for the sevens?
Maybe sevens we can say, from my experience, maybe is that you have to be a bit. You have to be. Yeah, you need
so
speed.
Is of essence.
Yeah, speed is of essence, of course. You know, and mostly it's speed. But you see nowadays, you can see sevens people need strength as well. So you just have to balance being strong and being fast at the same time for you to be able to play sevens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So speed, and if I was to play for 15s, because that's what you play for.
Yeah. For 15s, you need a lot more strength for that.
Speed,
Yeah, you need a lot. I think maybe 15s is more diverse because you're many people on the field, and I think everyone has a part to play. There's those ones that need to do the bashing, and and then there are those ones who need to run as well. So I think if you need to play a forward, then you need to have the mass, the strength. And if you go into the line, it's more about a brain game, being able to do those tactics that you learn at training and just do it as fast. You need the speed as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you compare the Kenya rugby scene, especially on the women's side, compare it to, say, South Africa, what is the difference? if at all?
I think maybe from my experience, I can say maybe South Africa has made a bigger investment in terms of women's rugby than Kenya. Like I said before, if we just need to find that foundation where we can have people who will invest in us at the club level, so that even when we go into the national level, you're picking the best from everywhere. So I think it's just an investment that they've been able to do in terms of maybe coaching, as well as the money, as well as the training facilities. Yes, and of course maybe allowances as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. So they need to start thinking about the allowances part. Because at the end of the day, I know, it's for the love, but sometimes it's
You
good.
need the money.
It's good.
To pay fare. You know, you need to buy supper.
I know, because you don't fix your hair on goodwill.
Yeah. True.
Just
You
saying.
don't, yes.
Okay. So do you have like a dream team that you'd want to play in the future from around the world?
From around the world. I think maybe Australia would be the team I would like to play against.
Okay.
In terms of 15s rugby, because of their experience and their expertise in terms of their playing.
They have a strong women's team?
Yes, they have a strong women's team.
Okay.
Both in 7s, 15s. There.
What about New Zealand?
New Zealand as well.
The All Blacks?
Yeah, the women's.
The All Black, the women's team?
Yes.
Okay. So have you discovered your inner warrior? Because rugby challenges you to discover that.
Definitely, but I've not reached the climax. I'm still discovering. You know, now I took some time out and now I'm coming back in and trying to find that discipline again, that structure. It's taking time, but again, that's where now I need to focus again so that I can be able to bring the best out of it. Yes. Yeah.
Do you think it will come a point where one can actually take up, say, rugby as a career and not have to worry about pursuing other things?
No, that is something that we are hoping for, and that is something that we are looking to, or personally I'm doing so, because like I said, there are so many people out there who maybe don't have the curricula or they don't have the academics to take them further, but they're very talented in rugby, and that's something that they can be able to depend on, that even as they grow older, they know I'm safe because I'm good at this game. So we are really hoping that that is something that is going to come up. Like I said, we are taking a few steps, but we are not yet there.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've said there's a lot that is being done now when it comes to a few gains that have been made when it comes to women's rugby, and that even in schools now, in high schools, they have introduced rugby as a sport. A lot of schools now are embracing that. What other things can be done to encourage especially young girls to start getting involved with rugby and love it and embrace it and maybe play it? What are some of the things we can do as a society?
I think, like I said before, we've not been publicized enough. Even our women going to Rio has not been spoken about.
I know. I stumbled into it, and I think I heard about it in passing. Like it was not a big deal.
Exactly.
We only care about the athletes in the trucks.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We need to. It has not been publicized enough. Our 10-a-side tournament that is there is not being publicized enough. We're not getting the kind of publicity that we need. It's not only the students that need to know about it, even the parents, the aunties, the uncles, the brothers, they need to know that there are women playing so that they can encourage their children. You know, you can find your baby girl is very aggressive, fighting boys. You're like, let me take this aggression to rugby.
To the right way.
But they don't know about it. You know, it will take some time before you start telling people, I play rugby. Before they are convinced, they're like, no, when?
No.
Women play rugby. I don't believe you. And it has come, and I have people and mentors who have played for over 10 years. And we cannot have this game having been there for 10 years and we're still not getting the kind of publicity.
For 10 years? That's a long time.
Over 10
My son
years.
is 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I have some of my mentors who have played that long. They have pioneered this game. And I think we just need to take it to a whole other level.
Okay.
We need that kind of publicity. And I'm hoping the next time we'll have our 10-a-side, you will come and feature us.
Absolutely.
So that people can
I'll
see.
be there. I'll fish and I'll cheer.
Yes.
I'll do both. Anything you want me
Yes.
to do.
Yes.
Because I love rugby.
Yes.
But from the bleachers.
Yes.
Okay. So as a captain, what is your responsibility to the team?
It's basically a leadership position where you have to lead this team.
Okay.
on the pitch and off the pitch.
Okay.
So I try my best to be there for them as someone who listens to their problems.
Okay.
Because like I said before, it's not everyone who has been advantaged in the way maybe I am or someone else is. And I try to bring solutions to these problems as well. And on the pitch, I try as well to play the best so that at least they can say if I'm playing the best, then they need to catch up
Yeah.
or do even a better job.
Okay.
So it's just a leadership position. So it's all about being the person that you want these people to be as well.
Okay, so you have to lead by example.
Exactly.
So sometimes when the performance was not very well, do they bash you? Has there times they have to, you know what, we have to blame the captain now. It was her fault.
It's part of leadership.
Okay.
You always have to take the
You
fall.
take the blame, yeah.
Yeah, you have to take the fall. Of course, our last season we didn't perform as we were supposed to perform. And of course, it brought a lot of questions. And the questions are posed to you as the captain or as the leader of the team. Because you cannot go and ask maybe the 20 players that are there. Everyone will have a different answer.
They assume you should
So,
have the answers.
Exactly. So you have to take it. It's just part of the leadership. You have to take it as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Rosehilda, it was really wonderful to have you on the show today.
Thank
So
you.
when is the next game? Because I really want to come now.
My next
I
game,
have a reason.
right now I'm off season. I really need to work, but
So now you're off season. So
Yeah.
when is the season starting?
we can say the sevens will be playing concurrently with the men. So I think just after elections is when the 7 series will be starting.
Okay.
And the women will be playing the Kabeberi sevens, the
Okay.
Christie sevens, and hopefully even the Prince Lou sevens as well.
Okay.
I will not be playing there, like I said, but when you come 10 aside, you'll find me there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just before I let you go, just
Okay.
remembered. So how many teams do we have, the women's team in Kenya?
We have Mwamba, we have Impala, we have Homeboys, we have Shamas, we have Northern Suburbs,
Okay.
we have University Warriors, and Nakuru.
Okay. Those are the most active.
Yeah, those are the
They're
ones
involved
that,
in the
yes,
series.
we also we have I've forgotten the name of the last one. But there are 8.
Okay.
Yeah, we have another one. I've
Okay.
just forgotten the
So I
name.
think we're not doing too bad.
Yeah, we're not doing, we have progressed, but we're not where we should be.
Should be.
Yes,
So a lot needs to be done.
a lot needs to be done
All
still.
right, Rosehilda. It was wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And keep up the good work.
Thank
And
you.
I'll come